Hello, and welcome to another video. And today I'm going to be doing Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump, an updated version. I think that I need to change a few calls that I got from last time. I'm going to be using the safe, leaning, and likely, and the independent color as toss-up. So I think that most of the Midwest would be safe, but Montana, I'll leave as a toss-up. Nebraska 2nd Congressional District would be a toss-up. Kansas, Oklahoma would be safe. Texas would be a toss-up. New Mexico, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada would all go by less than 15%. Utah would be safe. Washington and Oregon would be safe this time because they were narrower in the 2016 election just because Hillary Clinton didn't get the Bernie Sanders base. And these two states are really progressive. So Alaska would be safe. Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Mississippi, Alabama. The southern states wouldn't switch. And Missouri would be a toss-up. Indiana, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. I think that Iowa and Ohio would be toss-ups, and Illinois would be safe this time because he has a better white working class appeal than Hillary Clinton. The Rust Belt states would all be toss-ups. DC, Maryland would all be safe. All of Maine would be toss-up. New Hampshire would be toss-up. Vermont would be safe. New York would be safe. I think that New Jersey would still be a toss-up. But every single other state would be safe. So this is the current electoral map. 168 for Bernie Sanders and 92 for Donald Trump. So there are a lot of likely states, and Trump's gonna get a lot of likely states, like Montana, South Carolina, Texas, Missouri, Indiana. All of these states would probably be top likely for Donald Trump just because they went for him because he has strong bases there in all these states, and they're not gonna flip for Bernie Sanders. Montana would narrow down. The same thing with Missouri and Indiana, and South Carolina would stay the way it was in the 2016 election. Texas would narrow down, but it would still be a likely state. And I think that Arizona would be a leaning Trump state. The same thing with Georgia. Bernie Sanders doesn't have the biggest appeal to minorities, and there's still a Trump base that would prefer him over Bernie Sanders, and they'd come out to vote for him. And I think that New Hampshire would be leaning in Bernie Sanders' column, and New Jersey would be likely. Just because he has a lot of Northeastern appeal, and he's really popular in New Hampshire, and Donald Trump lost this to Hillary Clinton, I think that Sanders will be able to win it. I mean, his first congressional district would be likely, and Maine at large would be leaning. And I think that New Mexico and Colorado would be likely states because I think that Hickenlooper would be Bernie Sanders' running mate, and Hickenlooper's home state is Colorado. And even if he doesn't choose John Hickenlooper, he still has. There's a lot of growing Latino population, and he could appeal to the Midwestern voters in Colorado. And Nevada, this one would lean. I think in Bernie Sanders' column. It's because it went to Hillary Clinton, and Sanders has. There would be a higher minority turnout, and I think there would be more. I think that there would be more support for Bernie Sanders than Hillary Clinton, and Virginia would be likely this time because even though I went for Hillary Clinton with the Tim Kaine factor, I think that Bernie Sanders is really able to get out more of the voters there that were turned off by Hillary Clinton, and it's trending more Democratic, so I think that it will be likely. And in Minnesota, I think this one will be a leaning state, not a likely. I think it would be actually likely. It's just going to be likely because Bernie Sanders will be able to get a lot of the independent voters that just favor Trump over Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton couldn't appeal and they wanted to vote for the person that was better. And this time the lesser of two evils in the independence man would be Bernie Sanders. He could really appeal to those people, the independent voters, and to a lot of the Trump voters. So I think that he'd be able to carry Minnesota, likely. And Michigan would be leaning, and Wisconsin would be leaning. And for the same reasons in Minnesota, Trump won these states by really narrow margins. And any vote can be taken away, and Trump can lose. Bernie Sanders' base would be enormous this time around. And he'd be able to get a lot of the independent voters. He'd get a lot of these voters. He'd take a lot of the Trump base away, and there'd be no more people to vote for Trump. Of course there would be, but Sanders would take a lot of them away, so he would lose. And I'm making a call. Bernie Sanders is the next president. I think this because Pennsylvania, I called it for Trump, but my reasoning wasn't that good. I totally retract my call. I think that's Pennsylvania. Even though he has a better approval rating than in the other Rust Belt states, it doesn't mean it's gonna go for him. And since Bernie Sanders really has that Rust Belt appeal, and Vermont is really close, it can be even counted in the Northeast. He'll be able to get Pennsylvania. And Iowa, that one would narrowly go to Bernie Sanders. It would go to Bernie Sanders because of his rural appeal and his white college appeal. He could really appeal to these white voters that only voted for Trump because it was Trump. They would vote for a Democrat anytime if it's one that can inspire them. And Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, this would be really close. I think that it would go to Donald Trump. But really narrowly. And I think that it's because Bernie Sanders might have the appeal. But in Nebraska, since Nebraska the second congressional district is so small, it might have a lot of influence. It's influenced by the bigger congressional districts, and I think that they would vote with the whole state, and they would go for Donald Trump, but really narrow. And I think that North Carolina would stay with Trump because it is still a Republican state, and it won't flip only when there's a minority. And it still would stay with Donald Trump, even though the country would look like it's going for Bernie Sanders, even in the first poll closings. But I think that it would still stay with Donald Trump. And in Florida, I think that one would go to Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders would carry Florida. I think he'd carry Florida because it's an enormous appeal to Florida voters. It could appeal to the veterans. It could appeal to the senior citizens. It could appeal to the people that suffered from the hurricanes. He would be that compassionate, empathetic person that could appeal to them. And the veterans and the senior citizens that came out to vote and got Trump, Florida, wouldn't vote for him this time. They'd get Trump this state. And I think in Ohio, it would also go. I think it would go to Donald Trump. But this one would be the closest state, like, out of all the states, it would be in 0.01, something like that. It would be decided by like a few thousand votes. Because Iowa went to Bernie Sanders because of his rural appeal. Ohio isn't as rural as Iowa, and not all of it is white working class. A lot of it is just regular suburbs and not as much white working class. A lot of it is more voters could relate to northeastern people in the southern states, in the southern parts of Ohio, and in the east and western parts, all around here, they could consider themselves northeastern voters. But up here, in the northern parts of Ohio, they would be the white working class. So I think that the suburbs would come out and vote for Donald Trump, and he narrowly take it. And Maine's the second congressional district again, I think that one would be very narrow, but Trump would hold on to them. Even though Bernie Sanders is really popular in Maine, I think that Maine at large would be likely. And I think that since Bernie Sanders is really popular here, and also Maine's first congressional district, that would be safe. And I know that he's very popular, but Donald Trump got it by over 50%. Of course, a lot are gonna flip back, but not all of them. Some of them are Republicans, because this district is different from all the other districts. It always was. It was always closer. So I think that the Trump voter and the just Republican voters would stay with Trump and would be able to get him a win here. And this is the final electoral map. Bernie Sanders with 313 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 225. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.